Hey there, my name's Caz Binstead. I'm the co-lead at Therapists Connect, and I'm just jumping on here to do a reflections video for our third birthday. Happy birthday. I'm really pleased to actually have the space to do this. I'm on holiday at the moment, and although, as some of you will know, I'm quite present on social media, and I do chat with people. It's just nice to have a bit more space to actually chat to the community. I normally feel so busy. Really appreciating taking this time. So first of all, I just want to give a big thanks to the whole Therapist Connect team, the current team who have kept us going over the past year, and all the volunteers we've ever had who have understood the values and placed them at the heart of the work that they've done with us. Thank you. Also to my colleague, the fellow co-lead, Peter Blundell. We've kind of been doing this now. Well, we've been doing it for 3 years. Peter sent out the first tweet in January 2020, which was the first tweet to start connecting people. And we very shortly together started the first Therapist Connect project. I think I was speaking with Peter about it in about February 2020, and I think we started in March 2020, and that's our student project trainee talk. So we've been working together for a long time now, and thank you, Peter. My cat's come to say hello. This is Ruben, avid supporter of Therapist Connect as well. So I just want to kind of take a moment to reflect a little bit on our work over the past year. Peter and myself we were supposed to do a podcast together, but unfortunately he got unwell in the week before Christmas, so we're a little bit delayed recording that, but we will record that and we'll talk a little bit about some of our work going forward. So we're each doing these videos just to do our own personal reflections, really. I guess before I start properly, if anyone doesn't know anything about me, and you want to know a little bit more about me, I have a website. It's very easy to remember, cazbinstead.com. So this is CAZBINSTEAD.com. My Twitter handle is @CazBinny. And my Instagram handle is Night Owl Counsellor. So it's night_owl_counsellor. Feel free to connect with me on those social media platforms. You'll also find the link to my website on there. And that website talks a little bit about some of my work, some of my writing, some of my relational activist work, some of my work with Therapists Connect, probably not some, probably all, all of it. And particularly my work with private practitioners, which is a specialist area for me. I've done a lot of work in this area, various different things over the years. Most recently, I've written for the BACP and was the private practice divisional lead on the private practice toolkit that they have there. I'm always happy to hear from private practitioners, particularly new private practitioners. I'm very interested in working with and talking to people who are new in private practice. I'm currently doing a few more projects in this area, so that takes me on to my work in Therapists Connect, because Therapists Connect started in 2020 in the pandemic era, and obviously everything we know about private practice and levels of isolation in private practice, this kind of heightened even more during the pandemic. Therapist Connect, I guess, is very important for me because it crosses over with that work that I do, some of the work that I've done outside of Therapist Connect, and it also enables me to always be chatting to private practitioners and really getting the real life experience of working private practitioners, and being able to hear from people how they find their work and their life as a therapist, as well as obviously Therapists Connect providing a space for people to come together and chat and connect and develop professionally and all of that. So so I guess I'll go back to, I'm going to start in November 2021, because this was the last time we held a conference, and the conference was called Private Practice 2021, Surviving and Thriving in Uncertain Times. So I was creative lead on this conference. And yeah, it was really to give a space. We did it for 2 days, so it was a weekend conference, and it was to give a space to private practitioners to explore how this pandemic time had been for them. And we had a range of different things going on in that conference. So we had a couple of keynotes. I did one of the keynote presentations, and then we had another lifetime achievement which we've done for our birthday. We had Dr. Aaron Balick, and a couple of other interviews. We had discussions, for example, experiences of running a private practice during a global pandemic, growing your practice in precarious times. We had a bit of a kind of group thing going on with that. We had some networking, and we also had a global discussion, which was really, really interesting, because we had quite a few therapists from the States and Canada, and we had someone from China. We had people from all over the world. So this is something Peter and I are both interested in, because we are a global community in the similarities and the differences in therapy across the world. What else? Yeah, we had a section on research in a private practice. Me and Peter did a little bit on online communities. No surprise there, given we run an online community. But that was a very interesting chat, which we were able to chat with the attendees there. Social media and private practice. That's the second social media discussion, or debate, I should say, that we've had. Really, really interesting how private practitioners use social media. And then we had this was my favorite chat, which I was involved in, old versus new, experiences of new private practitioners setting up practice in the COVID era. I am the old. I've been running my private practice for 10 years. We also had Kath, one of our old volunteers. She was also the old. And then we had a few people who'd set up their private practices in the pandemic times. This was a really, really, really good chat. So yeah, so that is a highlight for me. Something that I feel personally quite proud of as well. So if you are a private practitioner and you want to get more involved in the community, or you want to chat with me, please do. Going into 2022, we had, I guess, a focus on solidifying some of the work that we've done, and I guess kind of steadying our ship a little bit, if you like. It was all a lot of excitement and lots of things going on in 2020 and 2021. And yeah, I think that was needed for everyone. Everyone was obviously at different places in the pandemic. But I think both for the community, but also for the Therapists Connect platform and us as the co-leads, we needed to just slow things down, steady things. And also we wanted to really kind of look at what we had as a platform and where we were going. And I think one thing that's very interesting for us is how we navigate as a platform out of the pandemic. One day we will be out of the pandemic era. I guess we're kind of a little bit out of what was the crisis times of the lockdowns and things like that, but it's obviously still going on. But you know, we have lots of other reasons for existing. I've just mentioned there about isolation, therapists and private practice, and just generally. the importance of connection, I think, for therapists, because our work is can be so heavy. But also Peter and myself both have a couple of interests. One is to do with students and students having a voice in the community, and we think we've done quite well with giving a voice to students as a platform. I mentioned Trainee Talk, our first project earlier, and we do run these discussions, and we've done a couple of live things and some things on Zoom and some things on YouTube and stuff. So you know, we feel like this has been an interesting area for us, and I think individually as well. Peter works in universities, and I, as I mentioned, specialise in those new to private practice, which includes students who are thinking of going into private practice. And I think just generally for us, it's a really enjoyable part of our work as well. The other thing, and it's kind of connected, is about the evolution of our profession, and actually students really form part of that, because things change over the years, and we're seeing that actually in the UK here there's potentially big changes coming in. I'm not going to start on Scoped, because this reflections video will have to end at some point, and it probably won't if I start on that topic. But you know, people are going to know this word. So, but I think also just with the pandemic having happened, and there already being a mental health crisis, and that worsening, and everything that's going on with you know, children and young people, real difficulties there. Just, you know, the system, or the system, I don't know the best way to say this. I personally don't think the system works. And we know that counsellors and psychotherapists are not really utilised as much as they can be. Now, what this means is that actually the work that some of us do as like, I guess, leaders of these platforms, or writers, you know, it's actually really important in trying to steer how our profession it goes, you know. And actually, I've seen through my own relational activism, I have seen changes. I have seen the impact that some of us have made. Now, that's not always recognised. But sometimes it is recognised as well. And I think the most important thing, and I would say this to all kind of campaigners and writers and activists out there, and people really interested in where our profession's going, you know, take note of it yourself. Make sure that you take the space actually to take note of the impact that you have. Because we have our membership bodies, but sometimes I was saying earlier about private practitioners, about their actual experience, and having done stuff for one of the membership bodies, and kind of doing my role in Therapists Connect, it doesn't always match actually what sometimes is heard from maybe inside the membership bodies, to what's actually happening on the ground. My slogan has been, I've had two slogans in my lifetime as a therapist. Working for on-the-ground therapists is what I feel very, very strongly about, the actual experience of on-the-ground therapists. My other slogan, this is just a side note, is we are here with regards to people not recognising counsellors and psychotherapists. I don't quite know where I was going with this, but something about that being really, really important to me and Peter and the team for Therapists Connect, and what Therapists Connect does and how we inform our work and stuff like that. We've done a couple of other things throughout the year. The podcast, I'm not really going to talk about much because I know Peter's going to talk about it, so I'll let him talk about it in detail. But you know, it has been an ongoing thing that we've had since 2020, and we've been able to get sponsorship for that podcast as well for this year and last year and this year, 2023, last year and this year, which is great. We haven't really asked for that. We've been approached. So it enables our work to continue. We are quite a poor community, actually, just so everyone knows. We are not for profit. And by that, I don't mean kind of not for profit. We are not for profit. We're a community, we're a collective, and any money that we have gets ploughed back into our operations. We do have some running costs every month, which we used to kind of carry ourselves, but we use any money that we get or get donated or whatever, and we put them back into the operations. So I'm going to let him talk about the podcast, but check it out if you haven't yet. The other thing that I did a recorded interview with the poet Samantha Lee. She's a therapist. She's also a poet, very, very close to my heart because I'm also a poet and a therapist. And we met in the project that I run, which is called Therapists Create. So Therapists Create, Therapists Connect. We've done a couple of showcases on Instagram and Twitter. We've done a live showcase. We've done a couple of other things. So it was a really nice part of that. It was really nice to have Sam, who was really part of Therapists Create right from the start, and is very well known in the Facebook groups for her poetry. And she's written a book called The Little Book of Help. And you can find on our YouTube channel that conversation between me and her, and you'll be able to find how you get hold of that book if you're interested in that. So that was a highlight for me of the year. The other highlight was getting our website relaunched. We were so busy, we didn't pay much attention to our website. So it's safe to say it wasn't that great at the beginning. And we really, really wanted to make a nice website. Between myself and Peter's busy schedules, we managed to pull this website together, and we're really, really happy with it. Again, if you haven't seen that, you check it out. You can find any of our things if you go on this thing called Linktree in the bio of our Twitter or Instagram or Facebook page. You can find it. You can click on links and stuff, so you'll be able to find our website, and that obviously gives a little bit about our values, and also about the work that we've done and the work that we're doing. It takes us nicely onto values. Our values are very, very important at Therapists Connect. It's something really that we focused on right from the beginning, because we didn't want to just be a bog standard, here we are, we're a community, anything goes, because we kind of care about community, and we care about how people relate to each other. I mentioned I'm a relational activist. I have relational, I guess that word relational comes really in the heart of the values of Therapists Connect. And again, you'll find these values on our website. We often put out kind of posts on Instagram and stuff with our values as well. We really want people to feel like they're seen in our community. And we have many people in the community. I'm looking forward to, this is going to be launched on our birthday on the 6th, but often what I love most about the birthday is I get messages from people who I don't actually know, and they say, I've been part of the community from the beginning, but they're not kind of outgoing, or they're not kind of interacting in a big way, because obviously we have big voices and stuff, which we love and we welcome, but we also welcome those who don't have big voices and don't necessarily get involved or feel slightly nervous of entering conversations or whatever. And I absolutely love getting those messages and hearing from people who are involved in the community and are kind of more in the background, but still feel that they get something from the community, and that is so important. We do value difference and diversity. This is really, really important. I just speak personally for me. This is really, really important for me. People are different in many, many ways. Yeah, we need to be aware of that. So we kind of use this word respect, and it's not in that I don't know, slightly middle class way of being, oh, be respectful. Actually, we actually mean by that, respect people as human beings. You know what, we're going to have a lot of debates in the community. We have had a lot of debates. One of the things we're most proud of is our scope debates. We did 3 scope debates, but we have a lot of debates on Twitter as well. And if we believe in the evolution of the profession, then we definitely believe in challenging people and things. So this is all good, but we can do this whilst respecting people as human beings. So yeah, really, really important part of our values. The other thing that we've done this year is our safer spaces work. So this became very, very important because of some of those values. We realized that we had to tighten up some of the way that we were kind of operating in order to really be true to those values. And, you know, we have seen a lot. I mean, this is Twitter where we were born, so you know what Twitter's like, right? So we've seen a lot, but there's also been, you know, there's stuff that Peter and myself have held. There's stuff that, you know, goes on in the larger therapy community online as well that we may know about. We might not talk about it. And it was really a thing for this, and it's done in a very fair way. We think about how best to keep people safe. So yeah, so I think I'm going to end there. If anyone wants to connect with me on the day, please do. It would be great to see people, and just all the best, and you know, look out for me and Peter's podcast. We're going to talk about some of our upcoming work as well there. So all the best for now. Take care. Bye.